Good day to everyone. I am Leighton McKnight, Distinguished Lieutenant Governor of Excellence in the Kiwanis movement. And I want to welcome you to our series, Rapping with Great Servant Leaders. Today, my guest is none other than Kiwanis International Movement's Distinguished Governor, Hope Marks, who has graciously offered herself as a candidate for the position of International Trustee on the Kiwanis International Board. This election takes place at our 2021 District Convention for the Eastern Canada and Caribbean District. Distinguished Governor Hope is a phenomenal individual. She is the quintessential philanthropist with a big heart, always giving especially to needy children. She has an outstanding track record in the Kiwanis movement, a most enviable record as a servant leader. She is also an exemplary professional in the hospitality and tourism industry, where she has served with excellence for several years. She's multifaceted. She's a trained scuba diver. She has certifications from the Royal School of Music and has completed Dale Carnegie sales course, among many other things. Truly a multi-talented individual. Distinguished Governor Hope, quite a phenomenal track record. Good day. How are you today?
I'm feeling wonderful, DLGE Leighton. Thank you for coming. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So, this exemplary philanthropic heart and track record, how did it begin? Tell us about the beginning, growing up, and how did you develop this passion for service?
I believe it started at home, for sure. I grew up with very loving parents, and the family grew up in the same neighborhood. So we were friends from birth, basically, siblings having children, our first cousins, that kind of thing. And service giving, watching them giving it's like we couldn't wait to get to their age, so that we could probably do the same. But it was the influence, I would say, definitely of my home life and my base, where we grew up and how we lived as a family, and anybody who worked for us became family. And family to the day they died, even if they left us to go off to work somewhere else, we kept in touch.
Excellent.
So it was
Any
really
special
a
memory of
thing.
your parents in this regard? Anything?
Oh boy. Well, Daddy died early.
Okay.
He died at 66, and that was a big wake-up call for me, because I was talking to him on the phone the night before, and the next morning at 6:30 he was gone.
Okay.
With Henrietta now, she does. Mommy, we affectionately called Henrietta. She became the leader now of the family, basically, and took over because she was a very independent woman. So it didn't stop her from. We didn't miss Daddy then in terms of what he did. The thing I miss with him is we were just becoming a brother and sister. Kind of, I could tell him a dirty joke, you know what I mean? And he wouldn't say you're rude. Yeah. He would laugh. With Mommy, they were both perfect examples and role models for me. Mommy was a nurse, so I grew up with a lot of, I knew what the vaccine was, I knew what it could do to you, and and I especially mention that because a lot of people today are complaining about vaccines, but I have been taking vaccines for quite a while. A fond memory I have of one is my dolly, Connie, had to get the polio shot. Or I wasn't taking it. And I remember that very clearly. And we were lucky that Mommy knew the doctors who were doing this. So she said, would you mind? And they said no. Connie was put forward, and then me. But
my grandmother would say Papi Show.
Great people, great people, and their siblings. And, we spent a lot of time together as one, so we became friends. on both sides of the family.
Excellent. So you had a solid foundation
Yeah.
in terms of your parenting that you received.
Yes,
in
absolutely.
terms of sharing and caring.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
DG Hope, fast forward. You're entering the Kiwanis international movement. To say that you have been a trailblazer would be a significant understatement. You're a charter member for the Kiwanis Club of Hope in 1999. And by 2001 you became president, served for 2 years, and even subsequently served as president twice after that. You're a distinguished president. 2003, just 4 years after joining the movement, you're a distinguished lieutenant governor, serving as lieutenant governor for that year. 2005, you served as secretary for your club and was awarded the Award of Merit for being the most outstanding secretary in the Eastern Caribbean and Eastern Canada and Caribbean district. By 2012, you were governor-elect. 2013, you became governor and recognized as distinguished governor for an excellent year. What a Kiwanis record. Share some of the highlights of your Kiwanis journey.
I'm going to start from the year I joined, though. And obviously, if I didn't enjoy it, there's no way I would have been here today as a Kiwani. So that's important to me. I have had a lot of fun in every place I've been to in Kiwanis. And that means positions, meeting the people. I've just had a lot of fun doing that. And I believe that that's my personality normally. And Kiwanis just brought that out. So it was just amazing that I got such a high from people, and I still do. So that would be one of the reasons I've stayed. You have an opportunity to lead, and I enjoy leading, to teach. But the highlights would be, one was, if I can be very specific, was a playground that we took us about 3 years to raise the funds to build that playground. And we wrote to Kiwanis International Foundation 3 times. And when we got the letter, the 3rd time, I didn't tell the club. I just put it away and said, I'm not going to open it because I don't want to read anything that will upset me.
Yes.
Well, I came home that night, about 10 o'clock, and opened that envelope. Ha! And it said, you have been given the grant to buy the equipment for the playground.
Ecstasy.
And I called every member. I remember that night, I didn't care who I was waking up, and I said, guess what? We got it. And that helped. That started everything with seeing my potential in getting things done. And I continued to Lieutenant Governor. The way I was put there, I'll never forget, it was Vivian, Cameron, Corey Samuels, and his name has just gone out of my head right now, but they said I was nominated. I was nominated in my first year as president.
Yes.
And I said to them, I got up and I said, are you crazy? I'm only not president 6 months. I let me learn this thing, And Courtney. And then they came back to me. They made things lie low for a while, and then they came back to me and said, we're going to nominate you again, so prepare yourself. And, I said to myself, you may never get nominated again.
Yes.
It might be something you really want to do. So just deal with it. And I worked with the existing LGE. Every day he would call me, and I was almost like his secretary.
Yes.
And that's how I learned, through him, Milton Berry.
Yes.
And I had a great year as Lieutenant Governor. I think there is something in me that says, you're ready.
Yes.
And that sent me to Governor. I just felt I was ready for it.
Yes.
And my club backed me. I remember the plan was at 12 midnight, we were going to meet. At 1 minute after 12, and Jim Steele came back me up. We sent an email to Jim Steele on the 1st of October, 1 past midnight, to say, I've been nominated. I'd like to run for governor, and so on. At that time, I didn't know of anybody else going, but it didn't daunt me in any way when I found out that somebody else was going. It just made it more challenging, and I realized that I had some great support.
Yes.
And then I won that election.
I remember that election, Barbados.
Oh, I'm telling you,
It
man.
was fun.
And let me tell you, I felt I was walking on air.
Yes.
When I walked into that room and they called my name,
Yes.
the night at the event, I swear that my 2 feet
Yes.
were off the ground. You know, it felt so good.
I remember doing your proposal.
And yes, yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you were fantastic.
Yes.
And going from there, you know, I sat on the board for a while after those years and enjoyed it.
Yes.
It's just, so the highlights is moving from one step to another step. The biggest highlight in the umbrella of all of this is a family relationship we have in our club.
Yes.
You know, if anybody gets there and they're politicking and competing, they don't last long in our club.
Yes.
Because we are really there to serve and to have fun.
Yes.
And, you know, to meet, of course,
Yeah.
so on. So and I think sometimes that's why we haven't just grown. We don't have 100 members, you know, it's slow because we're just a warm bunch of people that enjoy being together and love and enjoy serving.
Yeah.
So that covers a lot.
So being a distinguished governor, that's an excellent achievement, you know. Not many have, accorded that status. Any specific achievement you recall as governor?
When my president said he wanted, like, when he gave us his his criteria, I said, I don't think I can meet that.
Yes.
I conferred with my district chair, and I said, how many clubs do you think we can form this year? And he said, tell him you can't form more than 10.
Yes.
And I told him, Gunter, he wanted more than that.
As international president?
Yes. I said, that's all I can do. And of course, we worked towards the 10. But the district still didn't make a net growth. We grew, but we were still in minus.
Yes.
So I'll be honest with you, when Gunter called me and said, I've decided to make the district a distinguished district, I said, why? Seriously. I knew I had fun.
Yeah.
You know, I loved my year, and I would do it again if I had to,
Yes.
you know. But the strategy, that they have, and the logistics, I just couldn't really see. And he said, you were everywhere, you went the extra mile, and you have excellent personal skills.
Yes.
And he said, I made the decision. And he said, you have a lot of friends in the district who thought that you deserved, the division, the district deserved it. So I thanked him very nicely, and it felt good.
Yeah.
And it made me feel as if I had earned it,
Yes.
because I like to feel I've earned something.
Yes.
Personally, I'm not somebody who want to just take something, and I like to feel that I've earned something.
Yes.
So, and this is why I asked him, because when I was made a distinguished lieutenant governor, when the division was made distinguished, I didn't ask.
Yes.
I lost 4 clubs that year.
Yes.
And I thought, fantastic, the division made it, whatever. But when I looked at the record on a whole, or the results on a whole, I never asked,
Yes.
Yeah. But I know that some governors had the opportunity to choose
Yes.
1 or 2. And I actually thought it was the norm.
Yes.
So when there are a few whose division was made distinguished in my year, I thought, let me just speak to the president, because there were about 5 other Kiwanians, LGs I had worked with, who I thought deserved to have a distinguished division. And I asked him, and he said no.
That was the governor at the time.
That's when I was governor.
Okay. Yeah.
And I asked him.
Okay.
And he said no. He said, I've already made up my mind, and it's gone through already, and
Okay.
so I just said, okay, sir. And the funny thing is, I never told too many people that I had asked him, you know.
Yeah.
But I went back to the person who told me that I would have some flexibility.
Yes.
And then she explained to me that it's not every president Every president is different.
Yes.
Her president gave her the flexibility. Well, I guess I just told you who it is by saying her.
Yes.
But her president gave her the flexibility, but mine didn't. And I wouldn't hold him to ransom for that or
Yes.
anything. It's just
Yeah.
one of these things,
Yes.
that happened. But and
Yeah.
we still keep in touch.
Yeah, it's excellent. I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, I think what has transpired just confirm that you're a natural Kiwanian. It's not something that you have to make the effort to do.
Thank
So
you.
excellent.
Thank
So we want to move on now to your non-Kiwanis life. You have certainly done very well in your chosen profession in hospitality and tourism management. You have been a community builder. I mean, you have been a Justice of the Peace for several years, won several awards. I mean, obviously you came to Kiwanis with a lot of leadership experience. So tell us about that non-Kiwanis life and your field of endeavor.
Let me start with tourism. The reason why I selected it and did not stay in the classroom is because I started working at the trial club in my latter years in the industry. And I was there for 10 years, and I realized I really enjoyed leading people and teaching.
Yes.
And this Hanover itself, I recognize, had not been as exposed to this kind of lifestyle I had while I was living in Kingston. So moving here and seeing, I felt I was needed, basically, and it felt good because I was treated that way as well, and from all walks of life, not just the tourists, not just the employees I had to work with, but management, and the community itself really just embraced me, and that's how I ended up in Hannibal. And then I found out that my father's mother came from Lethe, and he would come to Lethe for summer holidays when he was in school. So there was a connection. And then I found out that I started going into the basic schools and saying to myself, they need help. And the first basic school I went to, I had to park my car at the foot of the driveway. Getting up there was worse than here. And when I got up there, I walked up there, the kids were playing, they were smiling, they were happy. The fact that they had, the challenge I had getting up to the school obviously didn't matter. And right away, I just loved the principal when I met her. And that was in 1997. Burbeth Reed, and today Burbeth and I are still together. She's retired. She lives in New York, but she comes she come out of the winter and spend her winters in Jamaica.
And the school is still there to
School is still there to me. We got it built when they were doing the program. The government had a program where they were building schools. They applied for that. I had helped them with the application, and they got it, and the school was built. So now they have a 2-story building, fancy-looking place, and the children are still learning well. And I use but a team. You can't do it without a team. Before Kiwanis, I actually started a group called Tenacity. And
what they were about?
Tenacity was about upgrading the lives of young children.
Excellent.
That was our theme. Even before I knew Kiwanis. Not that I didn't know it existed, but I wasn't invited yet or anything, so there was no impact from it. And in fact, some of those members of Tenacity, one is a charter member of the Kiwanis Club of Hopewell, because we brought them over. We just said, you know what, let's do Kiwanis, and started. But they sitting on the boards down here, as a school board chairman for quite a few years. And I started out first as it's like they want you on the board, so they said, let's give our PTA. I didn't have any child in the school, but they said, let's start her off. And it was always for the youth, for the schools, the primary, the basic. Then JP happened, and I will never forget. A policeman came into my office and said, and I knew her as a female police, so it wasn't like she was a stranger to me. So I thought she just came to, hi, how are you? I was passing. She said, I need to interview you. So I said, really? What have I done? She said, nothing, you have been recommended to be a JP. So I said, really? Yes, a justice of the peace. I couldn't wait to call my mother. I said, Mommy, you wouldn't believe this. But she said that, really? She said, you're probably going to be the youngest one. I think at the time I was. I mean, that has changed now, you know. But I think at the time I was the youngest one. And so the community has embraced me, and I embrace it back. I'm very happy doing what I can, you know, or what we can for the community. Most of the time, the appreciation is shown. You know, it's just a thank you. It's important to feel welcomed wherever you go. And if you're inspired by how you're treated, the sky can be the limit. You know, and the mentors have come out of nowhere. And I consider myself truly blessed.
Excellent. So, just as I thought, you were made for Kiwanis. I mean, before you joined Move, I hearing about this group tenacity, my word, you know, for upliftment of children before you joined Kiwanis. And your community service, you know, justice of the peace, serving on school boards, you're tailor-made, and you have done quite a bit. That leads me to the next question. Having done so much, when I look at your track record, everybody would say, well, I've done my share. Kiwanis International Trustee, why now? What is it? Why do you think we still need more from you?
Again, let's say for position-wise and the role and the duties or the responsibilities, I'm ready. You know, that feeling of readiness came over me, you know, as a president and followed by lieutenant governor just 2 years after. I realized that I could communicate effectively with all ages, cultures, and abilities. You know, and if I had to be firm, I could be firm, and we still loved each other. As governor, I realized that I had great negotiating and mediation skills, far beyond my expectations. As a business owner, you know, I have to manage the property and funds of the company, and that's one of the roles of the role of the trustees, actually, is to remember the board of governance with responsibility for the funds and the property and the organization itself. So my business, the skills I've acquired as a business owner have certainly enhanced my role, my responsibilities going into the role of Kiwanis International Trustee. I do have some ideas that, you know, if you're interested in hearing them. One is I think our members deserve to know in a very simple way so that everybody can understand how our dollars are being spent. Not the 10-page book, you know, just something that even a baby will understand. I think COVID-19 is going to linger, the effects will linger for a while. The world has managed to survive. The world of Kiwanis has managed to survive through it all, a pandemic. It will be over at some point, but as I said, I think the effects will linger, and I think what Kiwanis International should learn is that we actually can meet virtually. We can meet, let's just say, in a very cost-effective scenario. Have your meetings virtually and have your projects and your socials face-to-face, you know, or in person. That, I think, will definitely cut down quite a bit of the finances for the members. I'm not saying you're going to wave a magic wand and, you know, slash it in half or whatever, but look at the members now. You know, all that the members have been through, it cannot be business as usual. So we need to come up with something so that we as members will want to embrace the organization. And it is a real embrace. It's not a fake and pullback. It's thank you, Kiwanis International.
Speaking about that, how do you feel about the Kiwanis brand right now? What do you think about the Kiwanis brand?
The brand, I am giving it a 100% because I live in it. I love it,
Yes.
and I want the whole world to know.
Yes.
So the brand Kiwanis is fantastic.
Exactly.
It's a very noble organization, and I have had no regrets being a part of it.
Excellent.
You know, and that is what we need to portray.
Exactly.
And sometimes we have challenges. Life is full of challenges.
Yes. Yes.
And let's overcome them. Let's work together to overcome the challenges. But as far as I'm concerned, I am a member because I believe it is one of the best solutions in my life that I've made for service.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the Kiwanis brand, let us talk about our service leadership initiative. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you feel about our SLP?
Boy, that you tug at my heart now like you wouldn't believe. The family, the Kiwanis family, is a patented name by Kiwanis International. Family normally are your ears. I have to say, when I joined the Kiwanis, it didn't seem like a major deal.
Yes.
Who are those people? And when I wanted to run for governor, I approached a key club, a Circle K governor, and I said, would you like to second my nomination? And he was like, wow, he would love to. This half time I don't realize that he couldn't. But they're our future. That's why it was named Kiwanis Family. That's how I looked at it. So that was my first encounter. And I said, no. In my heart, I said, no, we have to do something about this. And the first thing I did for myself with it is to get close to a few members who had aspirations. And we would talk about it and everything. I'm still in touch today, you know. And they made it wherever they wanted to go. Some of them joined our clubs, but I think we definitely need to spend a lot of time in transitioning them into our clubs or helping them to form their own. Because these young professionals, when I sit in their meetings, I am so impressed.
Yes, yes.
You know, I just sit down there and say, look at this, see? And I feel good.
Yes,
you know, it's not me, it's not my club, but I just feel good.
Yes.
You know, and the same when I go to a key club convention, you know, or a Circle K convention, I am just totally impressed. And I said, this is the future. We need to work on it. If we're going to spend a fortune, that's where we need to spend the fortune.
So you'll agree that our SLP is our best project in Kiwanis?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely, I believe that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, you have been on the campaign trail over the last 5 months. You know, what have been the highlights? What have been your experience? How are you feeling?
Well, I've had 76 speaking engagements in support of my candidacy. And interclubbing has tripled.
Yes.
Because people want to see you and the people want to hear you.
Yes.
So I think we've done about nearly 60 interclubs also. The idea is just to stay in touch, make a presence, you know, make your presence felt as much as possible. Try not to beg because, you know, I'm not going to beg you to vote for me. I know I'm capable and I know I'm qualified for the role. I feel good about the campaign. I have had people who have called me to speak who, when I called to tell them what my intentions were, they said, well, you know, your person we are running with already called and we promise to support them. And I very nicely, graciously, I would say, okay, no problem, thank you. And I've had some of those same people calling me back and asking me to speak. And it makes me feel good. I don't know if they have an intention to vote for me, but it's just nice to know that they want to hear my side as well, you know? And the team I'm working with, well, you know, it's just phenomenal, you know? And if I think I can get lazy, forget it. They're right there to say, come on, Marks, let's go. So the motivation is there. The motivation is there. They inspire me.
Yes.
I don't know what I would do without them. And the bottom line is I don't know what I would do without the members who have been very, very supportive overall. I'm not a loser.
Yeah.
So if I don't win the election, I will still have the best friends, the best family.
And I've gained a lot.
Absolutely. The same pets.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Nothing much is going to change except that I would have, not won the election. But so I'm not a loser.
Yeah. So that leads me to this question. What's your philosophy in life? What's your mantra? And what would you like to be remembered for?
I remember I was asked that question when I was going in as LG, and you were to write it on a piece of paper, put it in an envelope, and put your mailing address on it. And it was going to be mailed by the then governor, and you would get it in a month or two. Or was it close to the end of your year? It could have been closer to the end of your year, and it came. And it was I want to be remembered as somebody who made a difference, a positive difference in the lives of others. And I still feel that way today. As far as advices or, I say to try to love yourself.
Yes.
Because a lot of good happens when you love yourself. And when you're doing things for others, sometimes you don't remember what you do. If somebody come up to you on the road and say, "Oh, thank you so much." And it has happened to me before, and I come home and I say, "Why did so-and-so thank me?" And I really have to go wrap my brain to figure out. I graciously accept.
Yes.
But sometimes, so when you have love in your heart, the other things don't scare you as much as much if you didn't.
Exactly.
So, but that's what I would tell everybody globally, to try and love yourself.
Yeah. And what you spoke of is our fifth object, altruistic service. You do things without, looking for praise.
Yeah.
Don't even remember, and that's the fifth object. So, DJ Hope, I want to ask you this now, and a final question. You are speaking to the delegates of the Eastern Canada and Caribbean District in your quest for election as international trustee. Briefly, no more than 2 sentences. What do you say to them? Why Hope Max?
I have the skills. I have served very satisfactorily in Kiwanis. I am passionate about what I do, whether it's Kiwanis or not. I have the ability to bring people together in one accord to make a decision, to make a positive difference in the lives of others. And for that, I seek your support, and I will not let you down.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, viewers. We have just heard from a fantastic individual, an awesome Kiwanian. She has won numerous awards, both at the Community Kiwanis and other levels. A Hickson Fellow, a Walter Zeller Fellow, Godfrey Dyer Medallion, Kiwani of the Year, you name it. In Kiwani, she has won it. Offering her candidacy for the position of International Trustee on the Kiwanis International Board. I'm sure she'll do well. Thank you for watching, and I say there is hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.